You're welcome back, and we begin with the AM News with me, Noella Karanyali. Let's begin with our top story. And 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the killing of a night security guard, with 1 suspect reportedly confessing to 15 murders. The alleged killings include 3 in Bole and Banda in the Savannah region. According to Upper West Regional Police Commander ACP Francis Yiribare, the Wa municipality recorded 16 suspected murders between 2021 and 2025. The prime suspect, Sharif Abdullahi, an ex-convict previously jailed for unlawful entry and theft in Bole, allegedly killed 5 of his victims, including 3 mentally ill persons and 2 night watchmen. ACP Yiribare disclosed this at a press conference in Wa.
Almost 4 years, the Greater Wa municipality has recorded 16 suspected murders, majority of the victims being night watchmen. The latest suspected murder of a night security man took place on September 21 around the New Wa market in the Double electoral area. The victim is the 55-year-old Yaya Isa, who was murdered in cold blood, bringing shock waves and attracted swathe of residents to the area. The incident happened a day after the new regional police commander, ACP Francis Yiribare, took over the leadership of the Upper West Regional Police Command. That probably was his baptism of fire. He was, however, unperturbed about the albatross hanging on his neck, and he remained focused and with unwavering support from the Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, Christine Tete Yohonu. Exactly 2 weeks after the incident, there was a breakthrough.
After weeks of intense intelligence, we have successfully arrested 2 suspects. Sharif Abdullahi, aged 30 years, and Mahamada Lamin, also aged 25 years, who are believed to be linked to these incidents of murders all over the municipality.
ACP Francis Yiribare laid bare what the crack police investigators have unraveled, leading to the arrest of the first suspect, 25-year-old painter Mahmoud Lamin, followed by the arrest of the prime suspect, 30-year-old cobbler Sharif Abdullahi.
On the 6th of October 2025, the second suspect was also arrested at Adabia, a suburb of Wa. The suspect gave his name as Sharif Abdullahi, a cobbler. He attempted escaping from the arrest on a bicycle when he was chased and arrested. He is an ex-convict, and he also aged 30 years. And he has so many alliances. One is Sani, one is Mohammed, and one is Christos. A search on him right at the scene led to the retrieval of a Valiant phone, keypad mobile phone, and an X-based solar-powered portable radio. Both items were positively identified as properties of the deceased Mr. Isa Yahaya.
The Upper West Regional Police Commander revealed that the prime suspect, who is an ex-convict, jailed for 2 years for unlawful entry and stealing at Bole, also allegedly murdered 6 others at Bole, Bomboy, and Banda Konta, all in the Savannah region.
In addition, the suspects later admitted during interrogation that he has killed 15 people in the Wa municipality since 2021. And that is prior to the recent killing of Isa Yahaya at Dobole. He further noted that he usually targets watchmen and mentally challenged persons. He confessed that he had killed 3 more mad men and 2 watchmen at Bole in the Savannah region, and a further 1 mad man in Banda and Kwanta, also in the Savannah region, and 1 mad woman in Bamboy, also in the Savannah region.
Both suspects are in the custody of the police, assisting with investigations. Suspect Bambo Dlamini was however put before the One Magistrate Court, where he was remanded into police custody and to appear on October 21, 2025. Reporting for Dwayne News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And the German North DCE George Andane lamented the toll the clashes have taken on development. He revealed that over 250 security personnel were deployed to maintain order in the affected areas, with the assembly spending significant resources daily to provide logistical support. Funds that were originally intended for local development projects, he said, are now being diverted to sustain security operations. And the following report has more.
The German North DCE, George Andane, lamented the toll the clashes have taken on development. He revealed that over 250 security personnel were deployed to maintain order in the affected areas, with the assembly spending significant resources daily to provide logistical support. Funds that were originally intended for local development projects, he said, are now being diverted to sustain security operations.
It is affecting our development greatly, because the first time when it started, before last Sunday there were about 256 security personnel at Sampa. At every day, we fed them with 72,000 Ghana cedis. You just imagine. But as somebody could take this responsibility for 5 days, when it lapsed, we couldn't support them again. It has started. We have to support them with the little IGF that we generated. Instead for us to use it for developmental projects, we are using it to feed the security people.
Also appearing before the local government committee was the district chief executive for Pro East, Dauda Abdul Nasser, who told Parliament that Yeji, a town that has struggled with armed robbery incidents for years, is finally experiencing peace. He said the area has seen 3 months of calm, allowing residents to sleep very well.
Yeji is one of the districts that have been challenged by armed robbery for a very long time. But I'm happy to tell you that for the past 3 months, in fact, we are sleeping and sleeping very, very, very well. That is why I said we are doing very well. Apart from that, Yeji is also one of the, or Pro is one of the biggest fishing community in the country.
The Parliament's local government committee raised alarm over poor sanitation and unsafe scrap activities at the Sunyani Central Market. The MC for the Sunyani municipality, Vincent Nchieje, said plans are underway to relocate scrap dealers and step up sanitation enforcement to restore the city's clean image.
Our people in Sunyani, I've seen the issues raised. One is uncontrolled scrap dealing activities in the market. This is a market that we're talking about. Now, if there's uncontrolled scrap dealing activities in the market, that poses a serious health hazard for our people. I've seen your response that the Assembly has secured a conducive place for the people. In fact, ensure that this thing never happens again.
Other MMDCs from the Bono East region and the regional minister took turns before the local government committee today.
Now, President John Mahama is set to meet with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and other key stakeholders on Thursday to discuss what he describes as a final solution to the recurrent mismanagement of public funds every year in the Auditor General's report. speaking at the 12th Annual Conference of Chairpersons of Governing Boards and Councils, Chief Directors and Chief Executives organized by the Public Services Commission of Ghana, in Ho. The president said the meeting will also focus on fast-tracking the prosecution of individuals implicated in such reports. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Year after year, the Auditor General's reports reveal widespread financial irregularities across public institutions, a recurring issue that continues to drain the nation's resources. President John Mahama says enough is enough. He's scheduled to meet with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and other key stakeholders on Thursday to find what he calls a final solution to the persistent mismanagement of public funds.
Recently, I've been watching the Public Accounts Committee, and it's so pathetic. You know, why must we every year congregate at the Public Accounts Committee, and then you hear all kinds of atrocious, things. I mean, recklessness with public funds and resources. And so I have a meeting on Thursday with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and others to find a final solution to this Auditor General's report. That persons who are found guilty of infractions or do not follow due procedure or lead to loss of public resources, we must have a fast-track process to Nsawam, Fast-track, before you see you in Nsawam, 6 months. Until we do that, until there's a deterrent, we're going to come every year and they say total misappropriation and infractions of found out by the Auditor General is about 15 billion cedis. I mean, if we save 15 billion cedis, can you imagine what it could do?
President Mahama says that audit report implementation committees are not functioning effectively and very little is done after Public Accounts Committee hearings. The president expressed optimism that the new measures to be discussed will serve as a deterrent to others.
And so we're going to have a meeting, we're going to brainstorm. We've not fully implemented the constitutional provision. There is a part of the provision that says after the Public Accounts Committee has sat on the Auditor General's report, Parliament must set up a committee. What we don't know is whether it should be a parliamentary committee or it's a committee not necessarily made of parliamentarians to implement the findings of the Auditor General. Right now, what we use is the audits, the ARICs. Every department is supposed to set up an ARIC. But once they've come from the Public Accounts Committee, virtually nobody follows up on what's the recommendations that were given. And so the audit reports implementation committees are not working. And so we must find a way where we are able to create a deterrent until people know that you can be held responsible for these things that you do. They'll continue to do the same thing. And so after Thursday, I'm sure we'll come up with some way where persons who are culpable of misusing the resources of the people will be held to account, so that others, do not follow suit.
The president has also been urging appointees to serve with dignity so they will have no reason to fear when called to account for their stewardship after serving. He also described the composition of all male boards and councils in the public sector as unacceptable. He has therefore directed governing boards and councils to establish mechanisms to ensure gender-balanced representation in their membership.
And so we have laid down procedures. We're supposed to follow procedure in doing the things that we do. It might be cumbersome following the procedure, but it's better to do it so that you're able to track and trace that it went through the normal procedure and that you took cognition of all the things that make you accountable, so that tomorrow somebody doesn't come and call you to, I heard a song, Iyo Koko Koko. Somebody doesn't call you to Iyoko.
Chairman of the occasion and the Agbubumafia of the Asogli State, Togbe Apede, urged persons in leadership positions to demonstrate integrity in all their dealings.
From the Volta region, let's head over to the Ashanti region and its frustration and fatigue at the Kumasi Resolution Center, where desperate parents have spent weeks chasing solutions to their unresolved school placement issues for the awards. Despite daily assurances from officials at the center, the aggrieved parents are yet to have their concerns addressed, leaving them frustrated. Now, some desperate parents are contemplating bribery as their last resort to have their children get into schools. We have been interacting with these aggrieved parents, and here are some responses.
I have frequented this place for the past 3 weeks. Some of us are working, and we must leave the job to come sit here without any solutions to our challenge.
3 weeks. So it's too much. We must have more and more share, but I say our phone, maybe I need to find the about work or Yabba. More better than her. You say, you and one day quiet. Yeah, but I bit never some liar as some more coffee to Miss Ramo. When you be a can from my.
Assemble or my catcher.
Maybe I see it says school noon in Anna can maybe dear them and my yako. But to my catcher and say, a mile, quack ram and my. This is our coffee.
Payment catcher said, young Cheska. The way they are not 3 weeks. Mentiment, you my client, and Susa.
They should tell us to pay cash. I didn't believe paying money, but now I think it is involved and I am ready to pay it.
The economy who says Katribu. Oh, see, I can't say Cheska. I bet you a plan board and I am for no question to go in your hand. Some man will say me Cheska and a family banner matria.
And never crying to Mentoto. If you saw from a bit to Tonyama, let us a moment and answers a
We can't buy our kids stuff. They should turn to us.
That's good, people quite a bit more answers. Last year, you win it, sir. Ready for to do for my Estrano.
Maybe the first time
This is my first time here. Whenever we go to the school, they tell us to come and change it at the center.
Now, Ghana's Environmental Protection Authority, EPA, is strengthening its call for public collaboration to protect the environment. At a client engagement session in Cape Coast to mark Customer Service Week 2025, EPA Chief Executive Professor Amabran Kluche urged individuals and organizations to take full advantage of the authority's services to ensure that their operations do not endanger the environment. Now, she cautioned persons or institutions who flout environmental regulations to take caution or face the full rigor of the law.
Service Week 2025 is being celebrated under the global theme Mission Possible at the Central Regional Branch of the Environmental Protection Authority, EPA. The occasion was marked with a special client engagement session at the authority's Cape Coast office to acknowledge the dedication and efficiency of staff, while also appreciating the loyalty of clients who continue to patronize the services of the EPA. The first of its kind initiative in the region forms part of the EPA's broader efforts to enhance its stakeholder engagement while building greater public confidence in its operations. Professor Nanama Brown Kluche is the CEO of the authority. She underscored the significance of the session.
This is the EPA's program we do every year to appreciate our clients. We appreciate our staff for the good work they are doing for the Mother Ghana. We also appreciate our clients because our work depends on their work as well. And we take the opportunity to allow them to ask any question they have or any interaction they also want to have with us. So this creates a platform for our proponents to ask anything that they need to ask from the EPA. And through that, we share or give them a few tokens also from EPA. EPA has a few things. Today we share chocolates, we share some water bottle, T-shirts and all of that, just to have that interaction with our client, making sure that our client becomes our friends although we have to regulate their activities.
She also encouraged Ghanaians to take advantage of the authority's services to help ensure a safe and sustainable environment.
My message to the general public at this moment during the Client Service Week is every Ghanaian is our proponent. Every Ghanaian is our client and customer, because everyone's activity has impact on the environment. If you are not sure, go to the nearest EPA office to check what kind of permit you need for your operation. But we know for sure that every activity everyone is undertaking, if it's not affecting the air, it may be affecting water, the land, or the space in which we live in. So check with the EPA if you need a permit for your operation. Otherwise, we visit you and also deal with you in an appropriate way by law.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lesel Nkoma reports for Joy News.
And that's it for the first belt of the news, but Samuel Kojobrace is on standby with the business update. My name is Noella. Karen Yali, stay tuned in.
Well, let's do some business updates now. And Ghana has signed a bilateral debt restructuring agreement with Spain, marking the fifth such agreement concluded under the country's official creditor framework. There's more in the following report.
The agreement was signed on behalf of the Republic of Ghana by the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kasiala Tuforsen. The signing forms part of Ghana's ongoing efforts to restore debt sustainability and strengthen the foundation for economic recovery. It follows earlier bilateral agreements concluded with China Exim Bank, France, Finland, and the United Kingdom. The finance minister noted that government aims to conclude the remaining restructuring processes by the end of the year to put this difficult chapter behind the nation. Dr. Tuforsen reaffirmed government's commitment to prudent fiscal and debt management, noting that Ghana is determined to ensure long-term sustainability and avoid a recurrence of unsustainable debt levels. For his part, the Spanish ambassador to Ghana said Spain is pleased with the progress of Ghana's debt restructuring and commended the government's efforts to stabilize the economy. He described the agreement as the beginning of a new and stronger phase in Spain-Ghana economic relations.
Now, economist Professor Patrick Esoming has stated that the positive growth trajectory of Ghana's economy, coupled with the World Bank's latest projection, is likely to attract increased investor confidence. His remarks follow the World Bank's projection that Ghana's economy will grow by 4.3% in 2025. Professor Esoming spoke to Joy Business.
Well, yeah, of course, I think, but we have to understand that we knew this because of the first two quarters numbers that we've seen. We already saw that we were doing much better than before. So it means that something is working. We've seen that growth has become more broad-based, especially the second quarter growth number. You realize that there's only one or two subsectors that were contracting. Most subsectors were expanded. And we've seen the strongest growth we've seen in a long time. And when the economy is growing, it's good for businesses. If you think about financial investors, if the economy is growing, first of all, it puts us in a stronger position. Incomes are growing, and then if you are thinking about expanding your economic activity in the country, that's more positive. So generally, when growth projections are revised upwards, should bring it brings more positive attention from investors.
All right, and that's it for the business update. But we'll leave you with what's happening on the currency market and also on the commodities market. After that, we'll bring you AM Sports.